Hello, my name is Austin Riley, and today we're going to be going over my final portfolio for my class called Technology in Teaching and Learning. By doing this, we're going to talk about the 5 different teacher standards. The first standard is Facilitate and Inspire Students' Learning and Creativity. I did this by making a program, or by using a program called Voki. Voki is an online website that a user uses to create an avatar. This avatar can speak for you on your own behalf by typing in type to talk, which is typing in words on the computer and the avatar speaking it itself. Some uses of this program would be an icebreaker done in class, which we actually did ourselves. For myself, I'm a math major, so I'd be using it for students to answer online problems. Similarly, if a student can't actually speak, you could use this program to type to talk so the student could speak via that way. Also, you could be using it to create a project which just students can show their own technological skills. On some strengths of this program or the type to talk, the customizable avatars so students can use their own individuality, the creativity and ability for students to represent themselves in a way that they are not actually seen. A weakness of this program is that sometimes you do have to pay for premium content, and that access to certain items on the website are limited. And also, students could use the type to talk in an inappropriate way, so you might have to mandate what is going on in class. But beyond that, let me show you an example of what my Voki actually does. And here's him talking.
Hi, my name is Austin Riley. My area of study is secondary education math and special education. I believe that technology is ever-changing and should be used constantly in the classroom to meet students' needs.
The next project we're going to be talking about is called Powtoon. Powtoon is an app similar to PowerPoint that creates animated slides and videos to use in your own classroom. What I learned from this is that creativity can be used all over the internet. There are so many different ways to do things on the internet, and instead of just a simple PowerPoint, why not use a Powtoon with animations? Some uses of Powtoon could be for an English classroom, maybe like a book talk, which would be useful to get students excited about reading various materials in the class. Could also be used to introduce the syllabus and classroom rules and procedures in an animated, interactive way on the first day of class. It could also be used as a PowerPoint alternative instead of using the PowerPoint for lectures to teach different topics in the subject. It could also be used to allow students to present their own creative projects. Some strengths are it allows for creativity, has the voiceover options, has many options to choose from different animations. You don't have to do just one thing. There's so many things on the website that you can pick from. Also, it's very easy to use with a timeline. On the bottom of the animation is a timeline. You can kind of pull and put different things in different places in order to make the video how you want it to work. Some weaknesses would be that there are a lot of items that actually you have to pay for that are premium only. That sometimes animations can also be confusing to kind of pull apart. The Powtoon works better on some browsers than others. It worked better on the Firefox than it did on the Internet Explorer. And that voiceover also allows for inappropriate use of students. Other than that, let me show you actually how Powtoon works. I created a short little video for my class. And let's see. Hello, my name is Austin Riley. I am kind, inquisitive, and friendly. I am passionate about theater. My major is secondary ed, math, and special ed. As you can see, it's sort of just the little animations. You saw things popping up and moving along around the side of the video. So next, let's move on to standard number 2. Design and develop digital age learning experiences and assessments. I showed that I did this through an online website called Socrative. Socrative is an online tool used to create and make tests and quizzes. As you can see on the side, this is a simple solutions quiz I made for an algebra classroom. So it's very easy to use. There's different things on the website. You just type the question in and then you also put the different answers that you want. Similarly, you can make a multiple choice. You can make it open-ended, and there's also a matching on there. So my first question is, what is solution 7x plus 2 equals 9? Obviously, the student would write to the side with all the open space how to solve the problem and would find the answer over there to themselves. What I learned from this is that on the internet, there are so many tools that you can use to create things, and this is definitely a good tool to be using. Also, I learned how to, or let me talk about some strengths and weaknesses. So the strength for this would be allow for creativity, because there's different things that you can use on this tool, such as, not making it one simple type of question. You can have an open-ended question, have the students write a story, something like that. Some uses of it would be create quizzes, have students make their own quiz to maybe test about, and some weaknesses would be sometimes the ads would pop up along the side and it could be confusing at times. Similarly, also something I want to talk about a little bit off point is that I have a QR code placed here at the bottom of the slide, and if you would go to that, pull that QR code up, it will take you to the website yourself so you can see the different tools. So the next standard we're going to talk about is standard number 3, Model Digital Age Work and Learning. For this, I created a presentation with a tool that I'm using now actually to give you this final portfolio. It is called Screencast-O-Matic. Screencast is an app that allows someone to record their screen while also recording with a webcam or including their own voiceover like I'm doing right now. Some uses of this tool would be allowing students to view the information multiple times. You could definitely give this to students and have them go over and over it again. Also, you could allow students with communication disorders or anxiety, and they're given the opportunity to create this in their own environment. Also, it gives students a chance to participate in online collaboration without needing to be physically together. It also can be used to give feedback in an interactive setting as opposed to written feedback. It can also act as an online tutoring tool and can be used to teach software. Some strengths of this tool are it can use information to post on YouTube and can also be used as a PDF file to keep for later times. A yellow ring is shown actually on the screen. I don't know if you can see it right here, but when you want to point to something, it'll pop up as a yellow ring for the viewer to see. It's easy to access. It's a quick and very safe download to pull up on your computer. The record button is accessible and directly on the screen, so you know when to stop, when to play, when to go continue. The part of the screen can be recorded and edited based on the user's convenience. So right now, if I wanted to actually stop this presentation, I could stop it and move on to a different part and go back and kind of pull it together. Some weaknesses are if students don't have a YouTube account, they can't really post it to YouTube, and sometimes it's a little bit difficult to pull it somewhere else. Voiceovers also allow for inappropriate things to be done by students, and the free version does not allow for editing. So here's just a brief little example. My presentation is 8 minutes long that I made, but I will show you just a little part. Hello, my name is Austin Riley, and today we will be going over an introduction to French. In English, you would say hello to somebody by saying hello. But in French, you would say bonjour. There are many ways to say hello in French, but bonjour is the most common. In order to understand French, we're going to begin learning the alphabet. A lot of the letters in the French alphabet are very similar to the English alphabet. As you can see, it's sort of just like what you're watching now, but a little bit different since that is a different topic we talked about. So the next thing we're going to talk about is infographics. Infographic is a type of tool, but I actually use a tool called Piktochart. It's an online tool that allows users to create a chart similar to a graph to display different information. Some uses of this tool would be posters or presentations. You can also use them to put around the school because parents or teachers or children can communicate with them. It's very easy to read. They could also be used as classroom posters that the teacher can make to put up with also the students' help. Students could contribute to different things and put that up on the classroom wall. It also promotes summarizing of information. Instead of having a long paragraph or an essay to read, this is something very simple to use. And it can also act as an online review from information learned in class. Some strengths of the tool are visuals for the reader, instead of tons of words, multimedia capabilities, creativity. It has different modes of use, promotes deeper learning through text and visuals, and it has some pre-installed templates that are very easy to use. And also, it comes with a free lifetime account, so you really don't have to worry about making another one, unless, of course, you forget your password. Some weaknesses would be has very little images to add. Publishing is not easy to understand sometimes. Difficulty in choosing templates. And finding a topic that works with the tool is sometimes hard to also think about. I'm going to show you my infographic or my picto chart, we can say. I did mine on math apps in the secondary classroom, so it was very easy. I just pulled some different pictures from the internet, and I included my sites at the very bottom of the second page. This is the different tools that are easy to use in the classroom. I put some pictures with it and a couple words that were easy to read. Nothing too long that was easy to be explained. So the next standard we're going to talk about is standard number 4. Promote and model digital citizenship and responsibility. So for this, I did something called a digital simile. Actually, I created a screencast just like we talked about before. But an easier way to create something like this would be using an app on the iPad called EduCreations. EduCreations is an app, an online website that allows users to create mini lessons similar to PowerPoint but with more visual detail. It's actually very easy. You kind of just drag and drop different images onto it, but we had some technical difficulties, so we decided to make a screencast instead. But I do want to talk about EduCreations with you. So some uses of the EduCreations would be to make videos, help teachers make videos for mini lessons to use. Students can use to make projects as a performance assessment. In math, students can use it to do problems similar to whiteboards. It can also be used to aid students in addition to the lectures given in class. Some strength could be add voice for a voiceover, the creativity that almost all these apps on the internet call for. And students can add pictures to their own lessons, and also the text can be handwritten on the slides. That's something that you really don't see. The students themselves can circle things with their hand, and that picture will actually pop up on the screen. Some weaknesses would be the movement of the app is very touchy. Drafts on the iPad don't save on the computer without actually publishing it on the iPad. A voiceover must be done in order to publish as well, so if you don't want to add voice, then it kind of isn't the best thing for you. I guess you could also add music though. And without pictures, the video made is kind of boring. So let me actually show you, although it's a little bit different than what we talked about, my screencast that I made for my digital simile. It's only 38 seconds. My media life is like a painting. As you can see, I actually made that on EduCreations, and then I kind of just transferred it over to Screencast because it was a little bit difficult to publish. So that's also another weakness that we didn't talk about. So moving on, we're on to standard number 5, engage in professional growth and leadership. So for this, I created a rubric maker. A rubric maker is an online tool that allows you to make a rubric. Kind of self-explanatory there. What I learned from this is that there's so many different projects that can actually be used with a rubric instead of just having a test or quiz. Some uses of this is that you don't have to create a test scoring guide or something like that. You kind of just circle what you believe the student did to the best of your ability. The strengths of this is it's very easy to use, and there's a wide range of topics to pick from. The weaknesses, there really isn't too many weaknesses for this. I'd say that it could be a little bit confusing at times, deciding how many rows you want or how many points you want the thing to be, but other than that, it seems to be pretty easy. Over here, I did mine on story writing in a classroom. You could pick the different categories such as the writing process, creativity, setting, action, organization, spelling, and punctuation. And then I picked how many points each was worth. 4 being the best, 1 being the worst. And then there's a little description of what the student would have done in between those. So that is all I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed going through my final portfolio, and I hope that you're doing well. Have a great day. Thank you very much.